Good evening, friends. Namaskar, dosto. I am Dr. Sanjay Kalra, your friendly and familiar endocrinologist. And you're watching Dr. KK's Med Talks, Mondays with Dr. Sanjay Kalra. आज के हमारे नॉन स्टॉप शो का 936वां 936th एपिसोड है. Let's have the headlines for the day. Now, a new study has found, this has been published in the Journal of Adolescent Health. It has found that children who participate regularly in sports from an early age have better mental health. And this is especially true for children who participate in team sports. Poor eating choices are linked to poor mental health and risk of diabetes as well. And nutrition therapy can help. So nutrition is very important if we want to build a stronger, a more healthy India for the future. And the WHO has called climate change the single biggest health threat, the single biggest threat to health. That's climate change. This includes extreme heat and air pollution as they increase the spread of deadly infectious diseases, also increase the prevalence of non-communicable diseases, and prevent us from exercising, prevent us from taking part in sports. अब जब इतनी सारी headlines sports पे हैं, तो the final headline that we have is that the Indian Society of Sports and Exercise Medicine, the Indian Society for Sports and Exercise Medicine, is doing yeoman work in spreading the message of healthy sports, healthy exercise across the country, amongst doctors and also amongst the general public. So 3 cheers for ISM. Let's see what our topic is for today. Last week on Friday, we had discussed vitamin D and sports, sporting success with vitamin D. And today we are discussing another kind of drug use in sports, which is called doping. So for this, we need an expert. So let's welcome our expert today. In Punjabi, one of the most cant, and in Hindi, in Haryanvi, one of the most ND experts that we have across the country, and that is Dr. Kiran Kumar Kulkarni. Warm welcome, Dr.
Namaste.
Dr. Kiran is a distinguished medical professional, a graduate from Mysore Medical College, and then a postgraduate in sports medicine from SAI Patiala and Government Medical College Patiala. So he understands what cant Gabru means. That means a unique, special young man. A PG diploma in diet and nutrition as well from Chennai. And he also completed a very rigorous course, the Advanced Team Physician course in Beijing, China. He is recognized on WADA's research directly. Now, what is WADA? We have to ask him. He's a fellow of the IASM. We'll ask him about that as well. And he has contributed a lot to the development of various sports in Asia, especially football. 2.5 decades of experience as a consultant sports medicine specialist. He is chairman of the medical committee of the All India Football Federation, and he spearheads sports medicine in our country and beyond. Warm welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Dr. Kiran, in KK Med Talks, we speak about various aspects of health, and the aim is to spread awareness and to spread health. So all these things are new for many of us. So would you like to begin, sir? Greetings to you from Rajendra Jain ji, Swapna Jain madam from Vellore, Dr. Rameshpal Singh Pawar, our 73-year-old young pediatrician from UP. What is sports medicine, sir?
First of all, thank you very much, sir, for inviting me to this Dr. KK Med Talks. And I'm very grateful. And on behalf of Indian Society of Sports and Exercise Medicine, I'm here before you to speak a few words of whatever knowledge I have regarding the today's topic, that is doping in sports. And at the outset, even if before we know what is doping, it is quite pertinent that we all should know what is sports medicine. As you said just now, that in the present days, sports medicine is one of the specializations which is spearheading and which is becoming very popular, and it encompasses not only treatment of injuries, but it also has the preventive aspect, rehabilitation, sports nutrition, sports psychology, then return to play aspects, sports cardiology, sports pediatrics, sports gynecology. So a lot of subjects, and along with that, we as medical practitioners are also having the sports science subjects via this anthropometry, biomechanics, kinesiology, then training methods also. So these are a few things which has this sports medicine, and most important aspect is performance enhancement as well as prevention of injuries. And in today's world of sports, anti-doping matters also is very important, because as sports medicine doctors, this is a very important topic in today's world.
Thank you, sir. That point is well taken. Why do we need sports medicine? Shouldn't sports, physical activity, exercise, shouldn't this be natural? Just like, I mean, the way we speak, the way we breathe. Or is it possible that while exercising, while taking part in sports, is it possible that we may injure ourselves physically, psychologically, mentally? And like you said, there are so many specialties. Is it possible that as a lady athlete, I might injure my gynecologic health if I practice sports in the wrong manner? Is it possible that as a young boy, I might injure myself, harm myself?
Definitely, sir. As you say, it is possible that injuries can happen in each and every sport, gender, children, or middle age, or even the elderly people also. Because most of the time, what happens is, why sports medicine is important is, uh, we know the sports medicine doctors know the in things about the physiology, as well as what we call it as the extension of physiology is exercise physiology. So, what are the adaptational changes that take place in human body due to exercise? And beyond that, when we overtrain, or what we call it as a overtraining syndrome, that is a time when most of the injuries can happen. And apart from that, acute injuries are quite common. And the question is about the chronic injuries, which can be prevented. So a lot of our researchers say that 70 to 80% of all sports injuries can be prevented when we take care of these intrinsic and extrinsic causes. That's the reason why sports medicine is important. And male, female, children, adult, geriatric age, anybody can be injured, sir, and we can treat them effectively.
So, Dr. Kiran, when we were students, at least when I was a student, what we were taught was that he or she who knows syphilis knows medicine, because syphilis used to touch each and every organ system of the body from head to toe. Then it became he or she who knows diabetes knows medicine, because diabetes touches every organ. Would it be apt to say that he or she who knows sports medicine knows not only medicine, like in syphilis or in diabetes, but knows the entire body of science, whatever is present on earth? Because you know not only sports, but then you know physics, you know teamwork, you know psychology, sociology, so many things. Even politics now, politics is entering sports as well. So it is right. He or she who knows sports medicine knows every science that is worth knowing on earth.
True, sir. Quite true. As you put in, as I already told, right from the medical college subjects, right from anatomy to gynecology, obstetrics and gynecology, along with the sports science subjects, sir. And
All
to be like a small, being a humorous, politics is also quite involved in it. So this is the sports medicine is quite broad-based subjects, because we need to know each and every subject of medical science with sports science subjects.
And now, if there is one subject that maybe you had not thought of before, now that's climate change. Because the way climate is changing, now the sports physician has to work, to let us know how we can exercise in extreme heat in a safe manner, how we can exercise in extreme cold in a safe manner, because all these changes are occurring now.
True, sir. Like especially in the recently concluded World Cup, we could see a lot of these international cricket players who were using sprays, like just to beat the environmental hazard which happened in Delhi. Probably this is one thing, and especially like as you mentioned, exercising in heat and cold. They are two extremes. So that's the reason why all the long distance runs are usually kept in the morning sessions, sir. Especially they start early morning at 6 or 6:30, because we have seen in India mushrooming of a lot of these 10Ks, half marathons, and full marathons, cycling events, then triathletes, Ironman, and all of a sudden in the last 5 years we have seen a boom of these athletes, and definitely it is very important for these athletes to take help from the relevant coaches, and if they are injured, take help from the sports medicine doctors. Even we have other like the specialists from the medical this thing, they can definitely take help. And hydration is very important for these athletes. Nutrition guidelines are very important, and when they train, prevention of injuries are also equally important, sir, especially in the hot, and again in the cold also, like as such maybe like Jammu and Kashmir only has that reason, has cold injuries, frostbite, frost nip. These have to be taken care, and wearing protective equipment also is equally important in exercising in the cold, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to you from Rekha Bhattara, madam, and from Anant Prakash Mishra ji. Also, an Assalamu alaikum your way from Fatima ji. She is a student from Pakistan, so she sends you cordial greeting from there. And it's very important, Fatima. Thanks for joining. Thank you everybody for joining. क्योंकि अब हम realize कर रहे हैं कि sports medicine इतना बड़ा subject है, इतना विशाल subject है कि हर एक के लिए important है. जो athletes हैं उनके लिए तो important है ही है, because they are worried about their health. But the coaches should know. Also, every member of the public should know. मान लो हम एक NGO चला रहे हैं. We are running a non-governmental organization. Philanthrope हैं. And we decide, yes, let's organize a marathon. Let's organize a 5-kilometer marathon. So, basic चीजें जैसे डॉक्टर किरण ने बोली हैं, we should be aware of the temperature. सुबह करें, दोपहर को, शाम को करें. We should be aware कि pollution कब ज़्यादा होती है, कब कम होती है. We don't want to expose our players to unnecessary pollution. मान लो आप एक national event कर रहे हैं. Let us say some of the participants are coming from Leh or Kargil, or they are coming from, let's say, Gilgit-Baltistan, and they are coming down to Delhi or to Karachi. तो उनको time तो दें acclimatize करने का. And similarly, अगर let us say Bangalore या Mysore से कोई जा रहा है कुश्ती लड़ने, let us say सिक्किम में या उत्तरांचल में, तो उसको भी 4 दिन पहले भेजें लड़के को या लड़की को, ताकि उनको एक्लाइमेटाइज करने का मौका मिले. Sir, before we come to our topic for today, which is doping, Jashni Karnawat madam has a question. She says, sir, what are these drinks that sportsmen and women take on the field? I just saw in the World Cup cricket, they take it for hydration. So, what do they take? Why do they take? What is allowed? What is not allowed?
Yeah, definitely. Even these sports drinks, one is hydration, and the second one is the energy drinks. So when it comes to playing in the a field in extreme heat, hydration is definitely important. And these hydration supplements, sports drinks also have electrolytes with them. And the second one is the sports drinks, and especially when they are cycling, marathon, every 5 to 8 kilometers, the athletes who are in this marathon, they hydrate, as well as they have these energy drinks also. So this is about. So basically, we always say, any drink, energy drink with about 6 to 8% of glucose in that is much better absorbed than any other drinks which like more than 10-15%, because especially we see in the advertisements that we are in a glass of about 100-150 ml of water, we see in the TVs that 1 or 2 spoons of glucose you add, and all of a sudden you become so excited and you become so energyful and you start drinking. It doesn't actually happen, sir. Okay, so if we consume more of glucose, if it is more than 10%, immediately as soon as it reaches the stomach, then there will be an insulin spike. So this insulin spike will put down the energy levels. Again, the glucose levels are driven, glucose is driven back into the cell. So automatically there is no energy, and the person who has consumed high amounts of this glucose will start having, he'll go into a state of dehydration. So he will be needing more of fluid to to normalize the amount of glucose he has taken in. So we need to be very careful. And I definitely sir मैं अभी बोलना चाहता हूँ कि जब हम लोग स्कूल में दौड़ते थे, like when we are running in the school, that our physical education master used to come with a glucon D packet with a spoon, and all the players he just used to give a spoon of glucose and we used to just put it in our mouth पे करके हम लोग भागते थे. I don't know sir, like maybe things have changed, science has changed. So we need to be careful. 6 to 8% of glucose drink actually gives a sustained energy to the human body. This is what the research says.
Sir, this is really interesting जो आप बोल रहे हैं. So let us share a few concepts and then we request Dr. Kiran for the sports physician's perspective on this. Now, the first concept is Goldilocks. तो सबने पढ़ा होगा in school. Goldilocks was this young beautiful girl and she went into the forest. And there she found this house that was there with 3 bears. So some of the things were too small. Like let's say she went and saw the glucose packet. One glucose packet was too little. Another one was too big. And then the other one was just in between. It was just right. So what Dr. Kulkarni is teaching us is, as a sports person, as a sportsman, as a sportswoman, you should remain within the Goldilocks zone for hydration and for nutrition both. एक तो ये कॉन्सेप्ट है. दूसरा कॉन्सेप्ट है कि जब हम डायबिटीज की प्रिवेंशन या डायबिटीज के इलाज की बात करते हैं, व्हेन वी स्पीक अबाउट प्रिवेंटिंग डायबिटीज, प्रिवेंटिंग ओबेसिटी, वी टॉक ऑफ समथिंग कॉल्ड द 3+3 मील पैटर्न. सो दैट्स 3 मेजर एंड 3 माइनर मील्स अ डे. तो थोड़ा थोड़ा खाते रहें. That is quite similar to what Dr. Kiran is saying. Dr. Kiran is saying if you are running a marathon, then every 3 hours or every 2 hours you take a break, you take a snack, but don't eat the entire day's caloric requirement at one time. You do go slowly, little bit at a time. तो ये 3+3 वाला कॉन्सेप्ट ये डॉक्टर साहब को पूछते हैं, what is his opinion about that. तीसरा कॉन्सेप्ट है कि for at least in North India, let us say you are going for an examination as a school child. So your mom or your grandmom will give you usually a mixture of curd and sugar or curd and jaggery. This is considered to bring good luck. The scientific explanation we have for it in endocrinology, and we welcome Anamika No Madam Ji and Ali Nazakat Sahab, also Bobo Sahab. The scientific explanation that we have is that the jaggery or the sugar gives you immediate calories. So that helps you for the first 1 hour or so of your examination. The curd has got protein, so that, breaks down slowly. And then for the second and third hour of your exam, you get the curd to fuel your brain. तो ऐसा कोई कॉन्सेप्ट है क्या स्पोर्ट्स में, गुड़ और दही वाला? एंड देन अनदर कॉन्सेप्ट इज कहीं पे भी चीनी गिर जाए. लेट अस से इन योर किचन यू हैपन टू spill some sugar or you happen to spill some salt, you will find that water gravitates towards the sugar or salt. They are hydrophilic, so all the water comes in. That's exactly what Dr. Kiran is saying. If you eat too much of sugar, first of all the blood of the body will go towards the intestine. कि अरे इतनी सारी चीनी आ गई, let me go and digest it. And secondly, all the water will also go there, so you will end up getting dehydrated. So sir, how do you explain this to students, to sports persons, to coaches? Is it difficult to explain this or is it easy? And how do these concepts, do they ring a bell for sports medicine or not?
Definitely, sir. Slowly we are trying to educate the people. Education is the only thing in which we can be successful, sir. But now, earlier, I also remember, but now, off late, I have not seen these coaches or physical educators in the school games or in the giving the glucose and all. Slowly in our physical education also, the education is improving that we should not give glucose. And wherever we also go, we always tell them not to give glucose, because as you said, one is the energy levels go down and requirement of water or also becomes very high. And the thing is like the curd and sugar, this thing, like in our in India we have this what we call a shubkamna. I mean, just before we go for a good luck we give. Even same thing in South India also. As soon as any guest comes in our home, we always give them this we call it as pankam bolte sir, like
Yeah.
vitamin C, yeah, then sugar and water, we just give them as soon as they come from outside, especially in the hot environment. So thing is, even in sports there are two concepts, sir. Like we have this water loading concept, and the second one is carbohydrate loading also. So especially like as you said, during a marathon or any long races, the food starts 24 hours before the competition. So we start to water load, what we call it as the hydration techniques also. So, and the second thing is about the carbohydrate loading also. So previous 24 hours before the competition, we start carbo loading also. And just about 2 hours before, 2 to 3 hours before any competition, we have a mild fatty meal and a protein meal, so that by the time the race starts, so the backup of carbohydrates along with proteins and fats also continues, so that the 2 to 3 hours of energy is given to them. And every 3 to 5 kilometers, maybe depending on the uh, uh, what we call it, the uh,
Intensity
mm,
or
intensity
duration.
of the exercise, the athlete consumes maybe in between 3 to 5, every 3 to 5 kilometers, or every 10 to 15 minutes, he consumes water, electrolytes, as well as some carbo snack, so that he can continue with the exercise.
Thank you, sir. It's important that you've spoken about carbohydrates. These are macronutrients. So we know our macronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats.
Facts.
In general public, we see that there is a lot of criticism of carbohydrates, and sometimes people begin enjoying criticizing carbohydrates just for the sake of criticizing or for the sake of appearing different. So when you see a sports physician speaking about rational carbohydrate use, basically the message that we get is that they are an important part of food and they should be taken again in the Goldilocks zone, neither too much nor too little.
Okay.
It's also important, sir, that you have spoken about electrolytes, because apart from macronutrients, that is carbs, proteins, and fats, we also speak of three micronutrients: vitamins, minerals, and Dr. Barun Sharma had spoken about these on Friday. But the third micronutrient, which is neglected quite often, that is electrolytes. So we have to balance our electrolytes, especially in South Asia. And of course, water is the mega nutrient that you need in mega quantities, not in macro quantities. So all three nutrients Dr. Kiran is speaking about, if they're important for sports medicine, they should be important for all of us as well.
Okay.
सर गुड इवनिंग फ्रॉम विनायक जी एज वेल एंड वो साहब पूछते हैं कि डोपिंग क्या होता है एंड he says I have read in the news that Ben Johnson took anabolic steroids in 1988 Olympics and that is what brought doping into the limelight. So sir, could you tell us what doping is and what is the history of doping in sports?
Yes, sir. This is like actually the topic, intended topic of today's, and uh, doping is basically, the definition of doping is the consumption of pharmacological substances which is foreign to the human body in abnormal quantities, and for the sole purpose of enhancing the performance by illegal means and methods. It constitutes doping, sir. So, uh, in 1988, that is in Seoul Olympics, in the 100-meter finals, one could see Ben Johnson beating Carl Lewis almost by 5 meters. And by the evening, he was like in a morning session, he won a gold medal, and evening, like from from hero to zero. And he was caught for stanzalol. Okay, sir. So history dates back from the Roman Empire, when our gladiators were given a mixture of honey and cocaine, so that they could fight with animals or gladiators, because in those days it was a fight till death. So Galan is supposed to be the father of sports medicine way back, maybe in Alexander's time in the Roman era, and he was a student of Hippocrates. So in his book, what he wrote was regarding the mixture of these substances, even certain herbs, then strychnine, mushrooms were given to athletes, so that they could fight these competitions, and it was fight till death. So they were, when they consumed this cocaine and all, they were on cloud nine. They, even the pain and the things were numbed in them, so they could go and fight. So it dates back since Roman era, and over a period of time, slowly it has propped down into our sporting scenario. So, World Anti-Doping Agency came into being in 1999, sir, and India was one among the first few countries who signed what we call it as a World Anti-Doping Agency code. So 206 countries across the world who are participating in Olympics have to sign this WADA code. So this code consists of rules and regulations, then banned substances, and dope sample collection procedures, and a lot of these rules and regulations. And the governments have to sign this code, sir. So India was one of the first countries to be a signatory to WADA code. So this is about the basic introduction of what doping is, sir.
So the history goes back to ancient times. That means it's a part and parcel of human tendency to want to
Human
cheat.
tendency.
So, of course, nobody wants to cheat, and everybody would want a fair play for all sports persons, all sportsmen, not sportswomen. Uh, but the question from Vovo Saab is, you've talked about WADA, but what is NADA, NADA, and how do they work together?
Sir, World Anti-Doping Agency's headquarters is in Montreal, Canada. So all the 206 countries are under this World Anti-Doping Agency, sir. So under this World Anti-Doping Agency, we have these RADOs, that is regional anti-doping agencies. So they are like, Asia, Oceania, then Europe, then African countries, there. And under them, we have this national anti-doping agencies, NADA. So National Anti-Doping Agency is based in New Delhi, and in India, we are, answering all our these things to National Anti-Doping Agency, sir. So it controls all the doping control activities in terms of education, in terms of collection of dope sample, in terms of laboratory procedure, and in terms of sanctions to athletes. National Anti-Doping Agency is the highest authority on doping in India, sir.
So, greetings to you from Dr. Pradeep Rawal, who is from Ujjain in Madhya Pradesh. And he asks, any best practices in the last few years coming from NADA or other Asian national associations? Like you see, we have people listening from across the country and beyond. Fatima ji has joined us from Pakistan. So, any best practices coming from NADA or other Asian anti-doping agencies in the past few years?
So I just, what do you mean by best practices? Like, can you just,
how they are focusing on prevention of doping and on.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Okay. Yeah, definitely, sir. Because right from a World Anti-Doping Agency, we have this most important thing is education, sir. Education to these athletes, and continuously World Anti-Doping Agency, National Anti-Doping Agency, we are regularly educating the athletes, then coaching staff, then everybody who are related to this the broad field of sports. And also it is quite pertinent that just maybe a month ago, I'm a secretary of IMA Dharwad, sir, Indian Medical Association Dharwad. We received one letter from Mr. Agarwal, who is the executive director of National Anti-Doping Agency, and which was sent to our Indian Medical Association head office to the president, that all IMAs in the country should impart anti-doping education to our doctors also. So it is not, because sports medicine doctors are very handful in the country. So any sports person can go to any of the qualified doctors, and if they do not know anything about these doping drugs, which are banned substances, then automatically the athlete will be put into dire situation. So this is the reason why it is very important for all of us to impart education, and also to get to know to these athletes, coaching staff, and all those who are associated, that what are the side effects of doping drugs, what problems happen with that. And it is not about only about the side effects, it is about the family, the state, and the country itself are taken at task when any of the person becomes he is caught for doping.
Bimla Kapoorji greeting you. And Wo was saying, you talked about illegal means and excessive means. These are the words you used when you talked about pharmacological statements. Supposing somebody takes excess amount of glucose, or let us say excess amount of ghee. First of all, would that be considered doping? And then how do you define the word excessive?
No, sir. Actually, like all the drugs which come under these banned substances, 90% of them, all these drugs are used in our hospitals, sir. So we should know, first of all, we should know, like a lot of people, like the differentiation when we talk about drugs are of three types, sir. One is like therapeutic drugs which we use in the hospitals for the purpose of treating any medical illness or ailment. Then second is recreational drugs, okay, which are like street drugs. We call it as street drugs also, like cocaine, brown sugar, ganja, hashish. All these are all recreational drugs, which at least in our country are 100% banned by the police itself. They will come and catch a narcotics act. Okay. Then third is what we call it as a performance enhancing drugs. So performance is enhancing drugs are used in sports. So here the athlete uses these drugs to enhance his performance. For example, if I can take a note of steroids, like 96% of all the athletes consume steroids. So it's the highest consumed banned substance in the whole world. So, but the question is why he consumed steroids are 100% used in our medical, in our hospitals also to treat ill patients wherever it is required. Okay, sir. But why a healthy athlete, an athlete with such a good health, should consume steroids? There has to be some reason why he consumes steroids. Because if he consumes steroids, a lot of positive things happen in him. But at the same time, there are 101 side effects which happen to a healthy person called as an athlete. So that's the reason why steroids are banned. But as you said, consuming excess ghee or consuming excess glucose, for that very moment, there might be some small health issue, maybe 2 or 3 hours or something. But that is not considered to be a banned substance in sports, sir. Ghee and glucose.
So the foodstuffs are fine, yeah. And Vovoji also points out that Indian Akhada wrestlers used to take huge amounts of desi ghee. Even today, some wrestlers take. That is true in Haryana, at least, Vovo, you are right. So that is not a banned substance. Though, of course,
sir, sir, sorry to interrupt you. Let me add, when you talk about these wrestlers, like even in our Karnataka area, Maharashtra area, we have a lot of these wrestlers. They use something called as this thandai, sir, if you have heard it.
Yeah, that is a very popular drink here in summer.
Very popular drink among all the wrestlers. And like the mixture, what they do in this thandai, sir, they add poppy seeds in that, ghasgas.
Yes.
Okay, sir. And along with that, they add some 50, almonds to that. Then they add sugar, then milk, and they boil it, sir. And once they boil it, they put it in this grinder, and they do it with your hand. They grind and they drink the milk of whatever comes, and they have it, sir. So I tell that all this thandai is nothing but they are using cannabinoids, which is a banned substance at least in our country. It's nothing but ganja, sir. So they should not take it.
That actually we would like to reinforce that point. If it's something that you can take at home and everybody in the family is taking, probably it will not be banned. But if you're going out of the way to find those poppy seeds or the khaskhas, then there is a full chance of gadbad, and you will get caught sooner or later.
Especially athletes should not take it, sir. Athletes should not take this. Yeah. Because some of our athletes also were taking this laddus made out of ghasgas, sir, out of the country. And
Yeah.
now it is strictly banned, sir. Especially if they go into Gulf countries with these gasgas laddus, then
Got it.
nobody can save them. They will be straight away put inside the jail.
There is, if you're speaking of going to the Gulf, there is also a very fine line between the drugs that are used in hospitals, medical drugs, and the narcotic ones. Like tramadol is one drug, it's a painkiller. We can use it for diabetic neuropathy, we can use it for pain. That is medical usage, which is okay. But it is not allowed in the Gulf countries. It is considered a
Okay.
narcotic. Yeah.
Good.
And no one
Sir,
can save you. Then you
yeah,
become a guest of
that's
the government. Yeah.
so one more thing to just add on about Tramadol. From We can use Tramadol in sporting population till December 31st, 2023 only, sir. Midnight of December 31st, 11:59 p.m., sir. That's all. From 1st January 2024, even Tramadol is banned to be used in sporting population. Yeah.
That is important news, and we all should take note of that and also share it with our friends, our loved ones. Wo Sahab points out that Kolhapur in Maharashtra and Dharwad in Karnataka are wrestling hubs of India, apart from Haryana and Punjab. Sir, how common is it in sports like, let us say, in kabaddi, where you need a minimum weight and a maximum weight? You have to be in between. Or in sports like judo, wrestling, boxing, where you have to be in a particular zone
Weight
to be in
category.
the particular weight category. How common is it for people to overeat ghee or sugar the night before so that they can increase their weight? And how common is it for them to take other drugs which may cause fluid loss and help you lose 1 or 2 kg overnight just by increasing the amount of urine? Is this common? What are the drugs which are allowed? What are the strategies which are allowed? What are the drugs which are not allowed?
Yes, sir. Very important, question you are put in. So it is not about increasing the weight, sir. It is always about decreasing the weight in weight category sporting events, sir. So what happens is, in the sporting scenario where weight category matters, usually the athlete, maybe a wrestler or a weightlifter or a kabaddi player, they always increase their weight by about 2 or 3 kgs, sir. For example, if a wrestler is fighting in a 76 kg weight category, he will be training in between 79, 80 kgs, sir. That will be his training weight. So about a week before the stipulated date of competition, what he starts doing is he starts to reduce his weight, sir. So by two ways. One is he will stop consuming food. He will reduce his food intake. And second thing is, most dangerous thing is, in the last 24 to 48 hours before the competition, he will start to dehydrate. He will stop to consume liquids, sir. So that in these, and he and these wrestlers, what they do is they wear these hot warm jackets, warmers, everything, and they will start running, and they will see that, on the morning of the event, they go in for giving in the weight. So that is the time when, if he is 76 kgs and below, then he will come into the weight category. Otherwise, he'll be put out. So for that reason, they dehydrate and they starve for about 24 to 48 hours before the event. So this is what has been happening, sir. But as sports doctors, what we always say is, you need to start it at least 10 days before, not 2 or 3 days before the competition, because we have seen athletes collapsing in the field due to dehydration, severe muscular cramps, and they are not able to perform really well in the competition, sir.
And it can be life threatening also.
Definitely, sir. It can be life threatening. Yeah.
Many of the arrhythmias that we see, and sir, this question, multiple questions now coming our way. When we speak about sudden death, so in the newspapers now, you will see that celebrity deaths or young adult deaths,
Athletes.
unfortunate, they are reported from gyms, and then the message is, do not go to the gym, because if you go to the gym, you will die. Do not exercise, because if you exercise, you will not have a long life. So, what are the common things behind this, sir, and what is the message we should give to the general public regarding safe and smart sports?
Yeah, definitely, sir. Especially last 2 3 years post COVID, nothing. I do not want to comment on the COVID and sudden cardiac deaths. Nothing about that. Just a general view I would like to express. So, especially in the last 2 3 years, these events of sudden cardiac death have definitely increased, sir. And the thing is, going to the gym and exercising, there is no and sudden cardiac death, there is no correlation, sir. Even the people who have gone to the gyms and collapsed there, was it the first day they have gone to the gym? Not at all.
Mm.
They have been regularly going to the gyms, and uh, maybe we have a lot of reasons for sudden cardiac death. What our medical science has given, Marfan syndrome, then any problems in our coronary arteries, and cardiomyopathy, then myocarditis. There might be n number of reasons given medically, but what I feel is, like as you said, because it came with when I was talking about dehydration and electrolyte imbalance, this is also very equally a very important pertinent part we need to put in our minds. Actually what happens is, if we are dehydrated and the next day morning, the previous night, if we are dehydrated, we party out, late nights, no sleep, and next day morning we go to the gym in a dehydrated status. And actually what happens is, once we start exercising, sir, I would like to talk in very layman words, not using more of our medical technical words, so that a lot of our people on this panel can understand in very easy layman words. So basically what happens is, once we go to the gym, automatically when we exercise, the body temperature increases. Once the body temperature increases, we start to sweat. So once we start to sweat, sweating is definitely a mechanism to cool the heat of the body. Body's temperature has to be cooled down. That's the reason why we start sweating. So it is a cycle where the body becomes hot and we start to sweat. So we are again losing fluids from our system, and we are already dehydrated. And along with that, even the electrolytes are also lost. So what happens is, and certain amount of fluid from the blood itself, once the body starts getting warm, some amount, about 10% of the water content in the blood is taken out by this warm body. So automatically the flow of blood, there is the increase in viscosity of the blood. So once the blood starts moving slowly, it is definitely, we need to think about the accumulation of carbon dioxide, accumulation of waste products in our body. So that is the time when there is lack of electrolytes also. Even there is the heart starts, it has to pump with more pressure, because there is
Okay.
viscosity increase in viscosity of the blood. So automatically, when we increase the exercise, there is the direct load on the heart also. So even that might also, dehydration, increased pressure on the heart, and electrolyte imbalance. Even this deadly combination of these three can also trigger a fibrillation or an arrhythmia, which can give rise to a sudden cardiac arrest, sir. This is my thinking, sir. But I've seen this, when they go to cycle, when they go to the gym, and this might also happen. That is the reason why we need to hydrate ourselves. We need to have good electrolytes when we go to the gym. And most important is, moderate exercise is always best, sir. We shouldn't overdo things. Uh, at times, overdoing things can lead to catastrophic events, sir.
So follow Lord Buddha's message, that is the law of moderation, the middle path. Lord Buddha's middle path. Yes, and one other thing that you said is that people will blame the gym, but look at what was going on before the gym. Did the patient go out for a party? Did the person go out for a party? Was the person taking his blood pressure medicine or his diabetes medicine on time? Did the person eat properly, sleep properly? All these things are also more important. What happened before going to the gym? Did the person pick up a fight with his spouse? And that might have raised the pulse rate or the blood pressure. सर few more questions. रेखा जी पूछते हैं, is देसी घी good for health or not?
Definitely, sir. In moderation, everything is good, sir.
So moderation would be the key here. And
Yeah.
Mahesh साहब पूछते हैं FSSAI, that is Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. What role does FSSAI have to play in regulating energy drinks, in regulating all the? There are so many supplements that are sold all over the country, and sports enhancement is performance enhancement is promised. So, how effective is FSSAI and the other organizations in handling this?
Sir, actually, I wouldn't want to, like comment anything on these things, sir. But I would like to share some knowledge. Uh, Definitely, like whenever you enter any gyms or any, you see this lot of advertisements about protein supplements. Then for weight gain, weight loss, a lot of these international brands which have flooded our market. Then sports drinks, energy drinks, everything, sir. Sir, International Olympic Committee and World Anti-Doping Agency, they conducted one worldwide research on about 600 sports supplements and protein powders, then sports drinks, energy drinks, and everything. Sir, in that, out of 600 nutritional supplements, 556 supplements out of 600 were found to be adulterated with one or the other banned substance in sports. Almost about 87% of all these nutritional supplements were adulterated with one or the other banned substance. So this was the case when they did it. So that's the reason, especially in sports, we say that it is the athlete who is solely responsible whatever he puts inside his body, sir. So we need to be very careful when we prescribe or when we take these nutrition supplements, sports drinks, because we do not know with what they are adulterated. It's very difficult, and there is no regulatory authority in India who can say yes, you can take this protein supplement, and we endorse it that it doesn't contain any banned substance or which is a substance which is going to harm a person. So it can never happen, sir. At least I know, unless and until the government itself comes forward with and the pharmaceutical companies, nutritional companies come forward with this, where our medical fraternity takes a solid charge in this.
I think this would be responsibility for all of us. And even I see, when I go to the gym, I see mostly the younger boys and sometimes the girls also spending endless amount of time just discussing which supplement to be taken, which not to be taken. And I also sometimes find, they are spending 4 hours in the gym, but out of that 3 hours, they are spending just talking about supplements. So when do they do the exercise? That is just 1 hour out of 4. But at home, the mummy and daddy think कि हमारा बच्चा जिम गया है 4 घंटे कसरत करके आ रहा है. The other thing is uh, the same person who will spend endless amounts of time discussing with the local grocery person, why are you charging me 80 rupees per kg for dal? Why are you charging 75 or 85 rupees? They will spend a lot of time bargaining on that. But when it comes to supplements, then they will very happily say, yeah, that's an important supplement. I will spend 1,000 rupees. I will spend 2,000 rupees. So that also I find very funny. People have different attitudes and approaches for different things.
Sir, a kg of protein supplement will not cost less than 4,500 rupees.
Yeah, I was coming to that. When you buy carbohydrates, let us say whatever food you buy, rice in Dharwad or wheat flour in Karnal, that you will get at 30, 40 rupees. You can, of course, go up till 100 rupees. There are different qualities of rice, but carbohydrate is the cheapest. Potato, cocoa, yam, they are the cheapest foods you can buy. Proteins are expensive, fats are expensive, and if you want good quality protein, it has to come from somewhere, whether vegetarian, non-vegetarian. So actually, it cannot be below a particular cost. Sir, more questions. वो साहब पूछते हैं, Kenyan athletes dominate long distance running and they dominate middle distance running. Similarly, in India, we have different states. The girls from some states are very good at hockey, team games. Girls from other states are very good at individual games, like let's say boxing and wrestling. Why is that? Is it a genetic makeup? Is it nutrition? Or maybe they have different types of sports doctors who are good at those games?
No, sir, nothing to be frank enough, nothing to do with sports doctors. The question is always, the athlete was born or athlete is made in the laboratory. So like the whether the egg came first or the hen came first, that question goes round and round and round, sir. So basically what I would say is like as you said, the Kenyan athletes, one is the environmental factors, sir. Second is the genetics. Third is the nutritional factors, and fourth is the fire within an individual to succeed. So these are few things which makes an athlete great, sir. Especially when we talk about these Kenyan athletes who have really done extremely well. A country like Ethiopia, sir, they have nothing but their athletes are extraordinary. That is because they are training in a high altitude, sir. They are training in at high altitude. It's always, train high, live low. There is a concept in physiology, and we call it as a high altitude training. And especially in India, we have these two areas. Like one is in Himachal Pradesh, near Shimla. There is a place called Shilaru, which is about 2,500, 2,800 meters above the sea level. And similar place is in South India, in Uti, Wellington. So these are the two areas where we have these high altitude training centers. So where our athletes go and train for about 3 to 4 weeks, so that they get accustomed. So there is a physiological increase in hemoglobin percentage when they train high, and they come and go and perform. There is definitely an increase of about 7 to 12% in performance enhancement when an athlete trains at the high altitudes. Again, the same thing comes down like when we have this Haryana, Punjab, and Jharkhand, where we have this girl women hockey players who are extremely doing well. Even in places in Karnataka, like we have this Kurg, and it's also a high altitude place, sir. It's a hill station in Karnataka, Kurg, where we have the best of these hockey players who have captained in India, in even the men's team also. They come from this place, from Karnataka. So again, a few things, like the nutritional levels, and the what we call it as the encouragement to these athletes also, and the facilities which have been given to the athletes also matter a lot, sir.
Is there a difference also? This is a question. There are some states that excel in individual sports, and then there are others that excel in team sports. There is one hypothesis, a nutritional hypothesis from endocrinology, that is about wheat growing versus rice growing areas. So, when you want to grow wheat, you do need teamwork. But still, supposing there is one individual person and he has got, let's say two bullocks, he can grow wheat on his own. But paddy growing is very intensive work, very labor intensive, and you cannot grow paddy, you cannot grow rice without teamwork. The entire village has to come together, actually. Uh, and this hypothesis goes on to say that rice eating populations are better at teamwork and team sports than wheat eating populations. Any discussion about this in sports medicine?
No, sir.
Maybe work
No,
on
sir.
that now.
No, sir.
Yeah. But this would be fun actually to
No, we'll
research.
definitely do it, sir. Why not? We'll take it up, sir. Yeah.
When we see our women players in hockey doing very well, we find that actually they come from states and they come from tribes and they come from ethnicities where teamwork is or community work is treasured. And when we see our players, the ones who win medals for us in athletics, like let's say javelin throw, or in running, or maybe in a game like, let us say, wrestling or boxing, then these people come from states and from ethnicities where individual brilliance is given, more attention. So that would be something for our researchers in sports medicine to talk about, and that mapping will actually help us decide which kind of sports nursery to build in which kind of in which state or which part of the country. Even within Dharwad and Kurg, there will be a difference actually in terms of community attitude. So that will make a difference.
Correct, sir.
One question, sir. This is partly related to doping. This is from Mahesh Kumarji. Uh, he's a runner. So he says fellow runners who are on gels always seem to be more vibrant than while running. The word he uses is vibrant. So I am always skeptical about gels, he says. But then my question, Mesh Kumarji, is what are gels? That is the first question I would ask. And we asked Dr. Kiran to speak to us about this. The use of gels, GELS gels, in long distance running.
Yeah, basically gels are, like they are carbohydrate supplements, sir. So especially in like cycling marathons, they carry these gels along with them. So it's easy to carry. Like jellies we have, sir. Like toffees, burfies we have, so that we can just sip them, so that it's a carbohydrate replacement, sir. They are what is called as gels. So I don't know, like if athletes are using these, the relation between using these gels and being vibrant. I mean, like, I just cannot make a correlation between what Mr. Mahesh says.
But like we say, small frequent meals for everyone. And then, like Dr. Kiran said, every few kilometers you take something. So gels might be one kind of thing that you can take. And you can do it while you're running. You don't have to stop. One,
Correct.
one more question is from Vovo Saab. Is it true that marathon runners have a shorter lifespan? They get more heart attacks even though they are extremely fit?
No, sir, I don't think so. Like even we have now veteran athletes. Fauja Singh is 100 years plus. We have a couple of runners. They are all 70, 80 years old, and they are still running marathons, sir. I don't think running a marathon is taking you into a great. I mean, like having heart attacks or cardiac. I don't think this can happen.
Maybe, Vovo Sahab, when the rest of us are no more, nobody's going to remember us. But when great men are no more, then people remember them. So if any kind of an athlete has a health issue, that becomes news. It becomes page one news. But there are people all across in the community also who have the same heart attacks and the kidney attacks.
Yeah,
Mahesh Kumar,
even without running, they have everything, sir.
yeah,
So it is
but they
always
don't.
better to run, exercise, have a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Always better.
महेश कुमार जी पूछ रहे हैं कि the gels that you're speaking about, do they contain only carbohydrates, or are you aware of doping using gels? The gels contain banned substances. Is that a way of doping as well?
No, sir, no. No, see, the gels, basically, I wouldn't endorse anything because I do not know what these gels contain, sir. Usually, gels are carbohydrate supplements, sir. At times, they are fortified with vitamin C or something like that. That's all I know, sir.
But this point that you said earlier, Dr. Kiran, finally the athlete is responsible for what
He
he
is
or she is
responsible. Yeah.
will
Yeah.
report. It is a collective responsibility, of course, all of us, everyone on KK Med Talks. That's why we are here together. It is a collective responsibility that we build awareness about this and speak with whoever who is willing to listen to us. So, like as President IMA Dharwad, you are able to reach out to a different audience. As a functionary of ISEM, that is the Indian Sports and Exercise,
No, no, exercise medicine. Yeah.
yeah,
I
you are
sir.
able to reach out to ISEM, you are able to reach out to a different audience, and both are equally important. So I think we should keep on spreading this message about awareness. Like simple thing like Tramadol not being allowed after the 31st of December. That is important. If I did not know, I would not be able to tell this to my patients, the ones who are into sports, or I would not be able to tell my friends who are coaches. At least they will be able to spread the word. Sir, there is one thing called runner's high, marathoner's high. So, when you run in a marathon, you get a feeling of bliss, of anand. And there is a Sanskrit word anand, which means bliss. There is also a hormone known as anandamide, which comes from the brain. Anandamide is supposed to lead to a lot of bliss, or when you are in a blissful state, you get a lot of anandamide. So, between let us say using street drugs to get that high, and between joining a sports, joining a regular structured physical activity to achieve the to achieve the runner's high, what would be more healthy, sir? What would be more sustainable?
Yeah, definitely, sir. I think the hormone anandamide must be endorphins.
Yes, it is a
Yes.
type. It is a neurotransmitter. The name is anandamide. Actually, the
Okay.
scientists use the word anandamide.
Anandamide. Okay, sir. True, sir. So basically, it's like you're given me two options, stating that one is like enhancing anandamide or endorphins through sporting activities, and another option is through consuming these street drugs. Definitely, I would go with exercise uh, as a like a way of life where you can definitely increase your this hormone which really gives you a lot of happiness, and that's the reason why exercise is an addiction, sir. Exercise is an addiction over a period of time, but consuming these street drugs will take you to the hospital, which will definitely harm your human bodies, which is against the ethics of medical science and against the ethics of our society itself. Okay, which none of us appreciate. So it is always better that all of us in the society take the route of exercising, and very healthy way of exercising in moderation, so that we go into that what you say is runner's high, that the bliss or the ecstasy of being into the sport, and having this hormone which is released in by our own human system, sir. So especially we have something called as high intensity interval training, sir. So this I'm telling for the athletes who are regularly into exercise. So this is one concept of late, high intensity interval training. So here, when we perform these exercises, there is, like the hit on the two things. One is growth hormone, and the second one is endorphins. Both are released, sir, when we touch this, especially in long distance runners, cyclists, and long distance swimmers, then bodybuilders, and those who weight train or weight training, what we call. In these people, these endorphins and the growth hormone is naturally released by the human body, sir. That is the reason why, even if I don't go for exercising for a day or two, then I'll start feeling that I have missed something in this day. So, and again, if I start exercising again, I'll be, the whole day is so nice, so joyful. And that is how, we need to be a part of this anandamay or anandamide hormone, sir.
So I think we need to encourage the entire country to take part in sports, exercise, physical activity. Apart from becoming a healthier nation, we'll also become a happier nation, a more
Happy
blissful
nation.
happy nation.
And
To
Fit India movement from the government of India, this, and even we have a lot of these channels where yoga is being introduced in such a, I mean, like June 21st is a World Yoga Day, and over a period of time, a lot of sporting activities have increased, sir, and especially last 6 to 8 years time, there is a tremendous increase in people who are participating in sports, sir, sporting activities.
I see in the gyms in my city in Karnal, the kind of people who come that has changed. Now in my gym we have 80-year-old gentlemen as well, and we have 16-year-old girls as well, coming from each and every strata of society. And earlier it was not like that. 10 years ago, you would see only one or two types of men coming in, and always there would be this smell of, alcohol and tobacco and a different kind of a smell. Now it's really different and it's nice. Sir, couple of more questions before we conclude. It's already 8 p.m. and we thank you for your time and everything that you've shared with us. Vuva sir पूछते हैं, what is the interest of young doctors in sports medicine? Do you see an uptick in that as well? Doctors, are we interested in sports
Yeah,
medicine?
definitely, sir. Definitely, sir. I was a sports person myself, sir. I was a gymnast myself. Then I got my medical seat, and I continued my gymnastics in all my 5.5 years of my medical school. Then immediately I took up post graduation in sports medicine. So during, like before 2010, we had only National Institute of Sports Patiala and Government Medical College Patiala under the Medical Council of India, which had this specialization of sports medicine. As of now, 2023 November, we have more than 10 colleges in the country where it is giving a MD in sports medicine, sir. So definitely things have changed, and many young doctors writing NEET exams are opting for sports medicine as their specialization, sir. There has been a lot of interest among the young doctor population to take up sports medicine, because sports medicine, is a very is a subject which requires maybe in the whole country we may be around 300 350 sports medicine doctors, which is nothing for the population of our country. So we need a lot of young doctors to take up the specialization and come in.
And those are not only young, but also not so young doctors. Even I'm interested. So, whatever limitations we have, maybe I was not able to do sports medicine, but I love learning from Dr. Kiran and Dr. Barun and other members of ISEM. So, we all want to learn more about the subject and we want to share with everyone. And you will find that doctors from different fields, like the gynecologist will have her own perspective, the endocrinologist will have his perspective, and see the cross fertilization that is going on now. Suddenly a concept like wheat versus rice and what sports to play, this kind of
Correct,
a
sir.
concept will help our planners, our policymakers. Something I learned from sports medicine was cortisol testosterone ratio. Now, that is part of my subject. In my subject, we never do the cortisol testosterone ratio. But I learned from my colleagues in sports medicine. We began working more on it, and now we find so many ways where we can use this, theoretically and practically. So, thank you so much, Dr. Kiran. Everyone joins me. Swapna Jain, madam from Vellore, joins me. She says, thank you for the interesting topic and for emphasizing on moderation, on the middle path that Lord Buddha has left for us. Sir, our topic today was doping and sports, but we ended up speaking about everything under the sun. I think that is what sports is.
That's Sir, just a few things I could like to tell, maybe around 3-4 minutes about the
Yes,
topic of, in a
yes,
nutshell or in a small capsule, just about the general aspects of doping. And I already told the definition. And the definition also latest, has got about what we call as anti-doping rule violations, or anti-doping rule violations, where we have about 10 parts in this. So basically, like we have what we call it as, possession of these drugs, consumption of these doping substances, use of these drugs. Then we have this what is called as, whereabouts misinformation or failure to give about the whereabouts of an athlete, then tampering of these doping substances, then trafficking of these drugs, then compliance, we call it as complicity, where we encourage athletes. That is also a part of this thing. And prohibited association also, sir. Like even like if a doctor, a physio, or trainer or a coach encourages the athlete to take these drugs, even this also constitutes doping. And in 2022, Indian government, sir, they passed a law in the cabinet that doping is an offense, and it is like legally you can be charged under the under some IPC section. Okay, sir. Then beyond this, we have no. The thing is, why athletes want to dope also is equally important. So it is because of the strength, the stimulation, or the concentration, and the amount of time, like the recovery process, the anabolic effects of the steroids, which increase the muscle strength and trainability and recovery process. That's the reason. And no sport is spared, sir. Every sport, has some or the other sort of doping substance where the athletes consume them. And I can say you, one of the young bodybuilders, along with his parents, he walked into my clinic with an injection for veterinary use only. And he said that this is an injection which I want to take it, and I want to become like a bull. Then his mother started crying, and she said he is a 19-20-year-old young boy who goes to the gym regularly, and he came with this injection to me, and then I got his mother, father, and the boy had come to me, sir. Then he said, sir, I am not worried, and I'm ready to take this injection. You please give this injection to me. Then like humorously, what I told is, this injection is for veterinary use, and you want to become like a bull. Then I told him, before I give this injection, you have to eat one handful of grass. because the bull consumes grass. You eat one handful of grass and show it to me, then only I can give this injection to you. So this is how the young population, the young breed of these gym goers are like, they are not worried about whether they're using for veterinary use injections or steroids or any injections. And there has been a constant rise in promotion of these drugs, sir, which should not happen. This is a very strong message that we should discourage it. There should be absolute discourage to these young sport, I mean, like gym goers. And along with this, mm, we have these various classes of banned substances, banned methods, and especially beta 2 agonists and beta blockers are banned in sports, and diuretics, weight reduction to reduce weight. Like Shane Warne, he had taken a diuretic, to reduce his weight. It's also a very popular doping substance where athletes consume, and they say that to reduce my weight, I consume this. And till date, like most of these athletes, and it is maximum, I would say, most of these doping substance, they are intentional. So they know, athletes know this. This is what I want to put forth, and I say that without the knowledge, the athletes never consume anything, sir. If I give an athlete, so this is a tick 20 tablet, and it is used to kill ticks. Please take it. Will the athlete take it, sir? He will not take it. I'm pretty sure. So when there is a red light, we need to stop somewhere, sir. But if still the athletes want to go into that red light way in the traffic signal, and he still wants to consume, means he knows the consequence of what is going to happen. And it is like some robbery in a city or in some place where 10 robberies take place and 1 or 2 are only caught, remaining 8 go scot free. Even the athlete takes a chance, like there might be a chance, like 70-80% I may not get caught. So this is also a thing where we need. And recently in Delhi itself, maybe about 2 months back, you would definitely appreciate me by quoting this, that only one athlete participated in 100-meter finals, sir, where remaining 7 people, they ran away. They never came to the crease itself. And in the toilets, we could see about 100-200 syringes which were there in the grounds. Syringes we find in the hospitals, not in the stadiums. So what it shows is that our athletes are trying to take shortcuts, and somebody is encouraging them to take these injections, which are going to produce an overnight performance enhancing them. It doesn't happen, sir. So this is how. And doping control, to this is a strong message to all the athletes in our country and across the globe, that the doping control procedures, the laboratory procedures have really become very strict, and the equipment we are using in the laboratories to detect these banned substances have become very sensitive, sir. And athletes cannot just go scot free. If the samples are taken, they're definitely, if they have consumed a banned substance, they will come under the doping sanctions, and the sanctions have also been very strict, sir. So this is what I would like to just convey to you in this few. And at the first say itself, we have to say no to drugs, no to doping, and we need to discourage it at all levels, sir, all strata.
So very strong message that there is no justification at all for doping, neither medical nor social, not even professional. Because if you get caught, and you will get caught sooner or later, your professional career will come to a halt. Satinder Singh ji, saying good evening to you. And you've
Good
mentioned
evening, sir.
about doping regulations. You also mentioned that unfortunately we see lots of people sort of trying to take shortcuts. Bovo sahab पूछते हैं, are the regulations the same at school level, university level, and national, international level? Are the regulations the same for every sports person?
So it is same, sir. What I said now, World Anti-Doping Agency code. So it is like our constitution, sir. Nobody can change those rules and regulations, sir. It is same for international, national, and even university level, and even at the low. And recently, just before this Asian Games, a 15-year-old swimmer was caught for doping, sir. 15-year-old.
Correct.
And recently in our school games, 8 athletes they failed dope test, sir. Young boys and girls who are in 8th, 9th, and 10th standard.
They are
If
drugging
they are
themselves.
taking doping substances, then imagine, sir, what in what state or in a sad state of affair we are.
We need to speak about this because there's no point in sort of brushing this under the carpet. The more we speak, the more awareness there will be, and everybody, parents, children, uh, doctors, everybody will work together. But one very good news we have from Swapna Jain, Madam Ji, and three cheers for Swapna Ji. This year she participated for the first time in her marathon and she did 3 kilometers.
Oh, very nice,
It's a good
very nice.
beginning from Vellore. And I think we should all follow that. Let's, if we are already taking part in sports, let's continue. And if we
Continue
are
with
not,
it.
let's begin this year. Let's not even wait until 1st Jan. Let's begin this year. Let's start some sports. And honestly, Dr. Kiran, I was not able to go to the gym today, so I was wondering should I go or should I not go. The gym remains open till 10:30, but now I am energized and I've got a lot of anandamide. Certainly, after this talk is over, I will go to the gym for 45 minutes or so. So I'll
Definitely,
find.
sir.
Thank you, sir, for putting all this in a nutshell, and thank you also for tolerating all our gossip. Like we said, we talked
No,
about
no, no,
everything.
no, sir. No, no, it was a very nice talk, sir. I enjoyed it thoroughly as a speaker also.
And we look
And
forward to having you.
and the take home this thing, Anantamide, sir, actually, I had not heard of this, huh?
So, आनंदमाइड is something जो खुशी की किरणें जगाती है हमारी बॉडी में. That is rays of happiness. So it is
Happiness.
something that is very much associated with Dr. Kiran's name as well. So, uh, but it's been great being with you, sir. And we also acknowledge the questions on Ayurvedic herbs and Chinese herbs. Perhaps we can keep that for a separate day, and we request Dr. Kiran to join us again, and where we speak more about sports medicine and every topic
So
involved.
just one line about this, sir. Just one line. I'm taking your time. Just one line about, sir. World Anti-Doping Agency, World Anti-Doping Agency considers only modern medicines, sir. Allopathic
Okay.
medicines
Mhm.
throughout the world. It only considers modern medicines, allopathic medicines. World Anti-Doping Agency doesn't recognize, National Anti-Doping Agency in our country doesn't recognize these local medicines, Ayurvedic medicines, homeopathy medicines, Unani medicines, or the medicines, the grandma's kitchens medicines, or our local gouty medicines, what you call it, sir. Herbal medicines, village medicines, sir. This we should understand, sir. World Anti-Doping Agency recognize only allopathic medicines.
So this question on Chinese herb called Yarsa Gumpa, which was used by Chinese sports persons in Olympics. Uh, what would your take be on that? Does this occur and is this allowed under WADA rules?
No, sir. No, because they're all testosterone precursors, sir. In one or the other way, they are all testosterone precursors. So the thing is, there is always testosterone to epitestosterone ratios, which are considered when we do MSGC, mass spectroscopic gas chromatography. In that, if the ratio between testosterone to epitestosterone is 1:4 and above that, then you can be sanctioned for steroids.
You can be caught for that. So a good
Yeah.
idea would be, I think, to again focus on the middle path and just focus on exercise, focus on practice, good food and nutrition, good hydration. And in case you're in doubt, find the right sports physician, find the sports medicine doctor. And there are 300 of them in the country. And we know that there is one in Dharwad at least. And last
Yeah,
week we were,
definitely.
yes, last week we were with Dr. Varun Sharma. He works in Varanasi.
Varanasi. Manaras
Yes.
Hindu University Medical College.
And then, like Dr. Kiran told us, there are at least 10 colleges in the country which offer an MD course in sports medicine, and all those seats are filled up. So the interest level is actually going up.
Right. Sir, beyond that, we have this World Anti-Doping Agency website, WADA website, then National Anti-Doping Agency, NADA website. We have this ISEM website, sir, Indian Society for Sports and Exercise Medicine. So if we can access this website, and there is one more website, Global DRO, sir. If any of these athletes of any person, if he doesn't know whether he has to consume these medicines or no, he can always access these websites, sir. And if he can put in the substance which is there in that, immediately, if it shows a green sign, it means that the athlete can take it. If it shows a red sign, then it is banned, sir. So these are 3 4 websites, and if they can access this Indian Society of Sports and Exercise Medicine website, and there is contact of about 150 200 sports medicine doctors spread across the country, sir. 24 into 7, we are always there to help any person if he has any doubt about any medicines or any nutritional supplement. We are always there to help, sir.
Thank you very much for that. I think that would be very reassuring and very confidence building for everybody who is listening today. Sir, we have Batul with us backstage. And Batul, could you please show certificate of appreciation for Dr. Kiran Kulkarni? Thank you very much, sir, for being with us today.
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you very much, sir.
wonderful message in Haryanvi for you. So normally we say Shukriya, Dhanyavad, thank you, Meherbani. But the message for you is Thara Bhala Ho. This comes from Bobo Sahib. Thara Bhala Ho, Aapka Bhala Ho. May God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Your blessings, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And it was really, I appreciate that you are sharing screen with me, sir. You are a very senior doctor, and my humble pranams to you and to all the people who are in this forum, sir.
So thank you, sir, and we look forward to being to inviting you again on this program. And we can if we can work together actually to make sports, exercise, physical activity an integral part of our lifestyle, an integral part of society. Of course, we'll become healthier, but like Dr. Kiran said, we'll become happier as well. So we'll become a happier and
Yes.
healthier person. Yes. Thank you very much, sir, and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Namaste, sir.
Namaste.